Well, finding the one can be a challenging adventure, especially anymore where the world, they got the dating has changed so much. You got these apps, you got the swipe this way, and you got these things, a lot of stuff going on with the dating world. Yeah.
Locally, there's a place that can help. It's a fun and safe way to begin to write your own love story.
From Omaha Love owner Courtney, Quinlan, Alison David is the director of marketing as well. Good to see you.
And matchmaking. Nice to see you,
Alison.
Alison.
As well, yeah. So we're talking about this. You know, I'm out of the game. I've been out of the game for a while. So, but there's so many options out there, from what I understand, right? So why do people turn to Omaha Love?
Well, I think the main thing is safety. I mean, it's a huge safety issue, dating in today's world, especially with some of the online sites and the apps like Tinder and Match.com. There's nobody screening to make sure that people really are who they say they are.
Is Tinder the one where you swipe
Yeah.
with your finger, you like swipe left if you like them?
Right, and you know, like you want to find somebody, but at what risk? And I feel like what you're saying is a lot of women and men feel that way. So how do you make sure that the people who are part of Omaha Love have been vetted and you can vouch for them?
We actually meet everybody in person after talking to them on the phone and making sure that they sound pretty stable, safe, and that they're serious about this. That's another big thing, is we want to make sure the people that we work with are really serious about this versus just wanting to kind of hook up and play the field.
But the matchmaking part of this, I think, is fascinating, because you have to find people with certain interests, maybe not identical interests, because sometimes opposites attract. As a matchmaker, you might know that. So how does it work at Omaha Love? How does the matchmaking part work?
You know, there's kind of a lot of things that factor into it. We look at, you know, do they line up on paper as far as wanting kids, religious views, things like that. And then there's some that we really just can't explain, that we kind of rely on our intuition. And I've hooked people up like that all the time. Say, hey, you have to meet this person. I just have this feeling you guys really like each other.
We're looking at some pictures now of these are local couples who met through Omaha Love.
And that's a wedding dress, Mayor.
I know this. And in a lot of these cases, they've turned into marriages. And in some cases, it's a long-term relationship, or it could be an engagement, a lot of success. Is matchmaking your only service, or do you have others at Omaha Love?
We have different levels of matchmaking. So we have different, you know, some people would prefer to not have a picture and profile out. So we have different routes that are more confidential, more VIP services. And then we also offer coaching. And coaching's really good for people who maybe have been married a long time and come in and they're just really nervous about getting back out there. And then also relationship coaching. So for when people get into relationships but kind of hit a bump in the road, they can come in, we can work with them on that. And then lastly, we do have the singles events. Speed dating is a very popular one that we have as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that. Do people find love at those singles events? I mean, how does that work? I mean, what are the percentages of somebody finds that right one?
You know, the singles events are great, and people have a great time. I highly recommend going to kind of complement the matchmaking. However, if you're serious about meeting somebody, I would really recommend coming in and working with us one-on-one, because with the events, I don't know who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, and I can't guarantee you're going to find love. And even if a great match is there, I don't know if you're going to have the opportunity to speak with that person.
We have an event coming up 1 week from today. And do you have to be a member to come to this event?
You can come to the events if you're a member or a non-member. We like to open them up just so more people can learn about our services, and the more singles, the merrier.
And that's a week from today, right, at the Varsity? And it's a singles pub quiz. Explain that.
You know, that one's kind of a fun one for us, because it's not as structured as a speed dating event, but it's also a good way to get people over the nerves of kind of talking to each other, because when you're on a team with someone and you have to work together, you have to talk to them. And then you kind of get the little sign conversations started and things like that. So we usually have 3 or 4 different teams of different age ranges that when we do the trivia events.
Is that something you need to register for prior to Thursday?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
So we can give a head count to the
That's
venue.
the whole point, right? So if you're going, great. You don't have to sign up for a membership today to go and be part of it, but you do need to let them know you're interested in coming. Give us a success story, because we're looking at some of those pictures.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have one for us?
Oh, man, there's so many. You know, I would say probably one of my favorites is a gentleman who came in and he had tried a lot of different options, and he was physically handicapped, and he met a lady who she just fell in love with him, and she didn't care about that. I thought that was a really cool story because it just kind of goes to show you that, you know, love comes in all different shapes, sizes, and people don't discriminate over certain things, and I think that's a really cool story, and they're madly in love, and it's worked out for them.
And we hate to put you on the spot with that question because it's like kind of like, as a matchmaker, it's kind of like your kids,
Pick your favorite
right?
child.
Pick your favorite kid, yeah.
That's funny. We you know, there are a couple of reality shows, and one of them in particular, the gal talks about having a bad picker. And I've got friends who would probably put themselves in that category as well. A quick word about overcoming that if you've kind of been in a couple of rough relationships and thought, boy, there's just something wrong with me in my judgment. How do you help clients get through it?
Well, a lot of people will come in and they tell us their stories, and what she means by a bad picker is clearly what they're doing is not working. And they'll come in and tell us what they want, and they kind of have this perfect person. They have to have all 10 of these traits and qualities on paper. But we sit down and we say, okay, how's that been working for you though? And it hasn't been. That's why you're here. So, you know, we say, you know, just because they're not your perfect 10 physically does not mean that it's not a great match. Pictures aren't everything, and personality can make somebody so much more attractive. So we kind of push them out of that box.
And I can tell you, we've got some single viewers out there, and if they're looking for love, they've got this special offer. Mention the Morning Blend in September and save 15%. That's right, 15% off standard matchmaking membership.
And then the event, so we showed you this one, Thursday, September 10th. That is for all ages. You'll need to call to register. You can also visit omahalove.com if you'd like to learn more about some of the services and things happening. And then as we look toward the end of the month, September 30th, Love's a Brewing. So if you'd like to indulge in that tour, you do need to be between 25 and 35 years old for that one. Alison, thank you for being here, and Courtney, a pleasure to have you as well.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
to see you guys.